Hi, I'm Despa. You're watching SE2.EP8. This is another episode of Meet the Artists, and today I have a special guest.
Yes.
Jammer.
Well done.
Same, bro.
Good.
How's things?
Well, everything's good, you know. Good, you know. So I thought I'd catch up with you because obviously we got into it on Twitter the other day, and I've been getting a lot of tweets since the documentary, the Music Nation documentary come out. So I just wanted to have a chat with you and clear it up and make sure everybody got me clear, because there's not enough characters to express and explain yourself properly on Twitter, and sometimes that's why it's not good for someone like me to tweet, because I have so much views and ways that I see things, sometimes it can get lost in translation. So I wanted to touch firstly with you on the Music Nation documentary.
Okay.
That documentary was taken from a book. Who's that? That's me, one minute.
Split.
Let's keep it.
Well, for anybody that doesn't know, me and Jammer got into it on Twitter with a comment, which I'll probably put on the screen just so anybody can get kind of clarity as what that was. And there was a Music Nation documentary, the grime documentary that came on Channel 4 the other day, and that was to do with the start of grime.
Yeah.
And you think people have got that kind of
they got a little bit twisted, and that kind of got me a bit upset at first, because I wouldn't say upset, but it's like, now that was something to celebrate the birth of grime, where it was and stuff, and I didn't come on Twitter that day, and I saw a lot of people saying from up north or Birmingham saying how come nobody was in that documentary and things like that was getting said, and I kept quiet on that whole thing, and the reason why it wasn't documented fully in that documentary is because at the start of the grime, when it was in, you know, Bow and Leytonstone and East London, this is where it started, and the pirate radio stations and all this stuff was happening. That's where it was documented. You know, he had all these pictures and he had documented this timeline, and he wanted to make a program out of it. So then, him coming to see me and saying, wanted me to be a big part of the program, when I was doing my interviews, and I'd explained to him from the time when he was filming me and he was taking pictures in 2004 or whenever, the scene has progressed and it's elevated and it's gone further out, and there is now a strong scene in Birmingham, and I think you should go up there. In fact, I'm going to take you up there to meet a few of the guys, but how it was with like Culture Clash going on and all these stuff.
Oh, so that was recent when the filming happened? Okay.
And I was like, look, I want to take you and show you Socks, and there's Predator, and there's a few other guys that are really doing big things from Birmingham. Not only those two, loads of guys, Stay Fresh, Invasion. So he was like, he was texting me saying, and I was really busy, I couldn't go up, and he just went there anyway, right? So he went out to Birmingham, he found, I think, Little Chopper, Predator,
Big Mikey was on there, a few guys on there,
and a few other guys. Now, bearing in mind, me seeing all this on Twitter, the reason being him being there is because of me telling him to go. So, you know, when everybody's kind of saying, oh, you know, this and that, it's like, I still kept quiet at that point. It was only at the time when everybody was saying, oh, but we kept grime alive and Birmingham kept grime going when
was
London
that
was dying.
Mike Righteous made a tweet that was, I think,
sparked that off.
Grime died in London and it was resurrected in Birmingham or something like that. It had a lot of retweets. I saw a lot of people talking about that at the time. So is this the kind of thing that you're talking about?
I'm not talking about Mike Righteous. I saw that tweet, but I just saw a lot of general things saying like, you know, people were tweeting saying, Birmingham took the grime scene and revived it, and then London won it back and stuff like that. Now, I want to touch on that point.
Yeah.
Right. At a time when a lot of UK artists in London was going mainstream, right, and doing a lot of music, commercial music that people might have not thought was grime or not true to their roots. Yeah. I'm not going to say any names because I don't need to go into it, but you know
everybody knows who
those musicians are. Right, now, at the same time, you still had OGs, you still had the New Generals, you still had the Boy Better Knows, you still had the Predators, the Socks, the Swifter Beats, the Invasions, the Stay Fresh, all doing grime. Grime never died, they were still doing it, but it was on the underground, you know, really communal, like who knows, and who's still into it because they love it for the music kind of thing going on. And the core fans was still, you know, locking into those people and checking their videos and grinding it, whatever they might be doing. Now, then, what happened was we brought back Lord of the Mics. And as Lord of the Mic's been such a historical brand and deeply embedded in the UK culture, not just the grime culture, I started to find out about, you know, I knew about like Woo Rhythm and Stay Fresh and like, what's his name, SX and those guys, you know, from just kind of going around at the time and still pushing grime and seeing them and hearing Jamie Dread was showing me a few people and stuff like that. And I already was, when I was growing up, Birmingham and North, linking up with those guys when I'm doing my
we had
bookings.
you in the studio, man. So
going to the studio. So that was all happening already, but on more of an underground basis. Then they started to see like Flash Raw was doing their thing and supporting Speedy. So it was becoming like, okay, there's guys that love the music like us in Birmingham and they're really good and they're doing their thing. So, all right, that was happening. Then I found out about Socks. And I was like, all right, cool, this guy, he's sick. Decided to put him on to Lord of the Mics. Now, what that done with Lord of the Mics, when it come back and it was at the pinnacle of, you know, we got this brand, it's top in the charts, it's commercially viable, it's in HMV, it's all over the TV, it's everywhere, and they've got the headlining guy, a guy with a Birmingham accent, clashing a guy with a London accent. Now, automatically that changes your concept of not getting used to the accent, not thinking, and these are all conscious things that I had done, because I, you know, from time of Devilman when Skepta clashed Devilman, we loved the Birmingham native background and the voice and the fact that you lot still spoke with your lingo, swag, and you had your own thing going on. So by putting Socks there, and bearing in mind, I'm going to point out a few things along the way while I'm talking. I had a lot of people from London saying, oh, why are you bringing the Birmingham scene in? Why are you putting them? It's about London. I had a lot of tweets, people saying to me.
Is that, say, okay, about to say it was on Twitter, was that something that was kind of like a real big thing, people saying?
It was a big thing in London, that, because remember, I'm a spearhead. And the way they look at it is you know, to them, they might not understood the move that I was doing. So to them, they're like, why are you doing that? They didn't get it. They didn't understand, but I was like, nah, these men are doing grime. They're hard and they got different elements. Started finding that Daps on the map, you know, JK, Socks, you know, looking into it, you know what I mean? Socks was educating me on a lot of the MCs up there, that was good, showing me a lot of the underground people that I would have never known about. You're sitting in my house, showing me on a laptop these people, and I'm like, yo, this is a really, like, this reminds me of the birth of grime. When it was down here, when it was firing, before them lot got big money, before they got big cars and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, we need to help push this scene to the forefront, because these guys are still going radio set, still spitting there. Well, when I'm around them, I feel like, I need to write a new lyric, and I was getting that vibe. So I was like, you know what, we really need to push this scene. So what I decided to do after that was consciously put strategically Stay Fresh Invasion on each Lord of the Mic. Stay Fresh Invasion, each Lord of the Mic. And then whoever else was coming through, the Loop, you know, the Zeos, you know, even though Pressure's in, Stay Fresh. All the guys that I was picking.
You got people from up north, obviously, with Tez Kid and K-Dot.
K-Dot, and branching it out, you know, getting rid of that language barrier in the grime music. You know, we've got people that do all sorts of accents and slangs and from all different places. And that was not me saying I'm somebody and I'm gonna, do you know what I mean? This was just me using the platform I had that I knew was powerful to make everybody know there was the demographic of so much people into grime up and down the country. Now what that did was show the record sales up and down the country in the majors, and when they're getting their midweeks back and seeing that Jam is selling units up and down the country to all these people and all these pockets of things that we didn't even know was into grime or battling, or, you know, the music or the culture. So what that then done was the SPTVs of today and the Grime Dailies and everybody and the Charlie Sloths and everybody start saying, okay, them not getting a little buzz on this Lords of Might scene. Man are tweeting about it's shutting down Twitter, this DVD shut down Christmas. All right, let's get them on the show.
I'll start with there a sec, because if you're gonna say that, because I know there were people before that Load the Mics came out that were doing things.
I'm not saying that these other people was doing those things, but what I'm trying to say is it injected a flood of more of it, and the people that was involved in that time, because I will tell you some of the people, you can go and ask them. Go and have an interview with some of these people that took part in the Lord of the Mics thing, and ask them what the stems off the back of them doing it was for them. What the reason for them to do that. You can go and then do that. You can go and have a Despa Talks and carries on this thing, because it's not just about me. These people lived it as well. They saw it. They messaged me, you know, after this, this was amazing. That man wants to hit me up. Yes, go do it. That's what's meant to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? And this ain't me doing it because I wanted to say I did it or I said so, but these are like, you know, when you're actually doing something and you know what you're doing, you're strategically doing it, and it's not bullshit. You know, I don't mind to come and sit here and talk about it, because I know this was, you know, something that I had done myself. Do you know what I'm saying? So, touching on the topic of, all right, cool. My statement where I said I brought back grime. Now that was ignorant. Yeah, I'll put my hand up and say, but that was true to frustration of everybody, you know, tweeting me, getting at me, and me just holding it down for so long till one day I say, oh, fuck it, you lot, man. I done this thing, like, I'd go hard, you get me? Like, I put my life, everything on the line, do this thing for this music thing to push it forward, you know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes that's heartfelt, you know what I'm saying? But I can't express that sometimes.
Yeah, because I saw that, and it was like, it was a comment that said that it was just you alone.
Yeah, no, look, let me correct myself on that.
No, I'll talk to you now, but I did feel, this is why I tweeted you, I did feel it was like I said to you on the phone, I felt like an arrogant thing to say.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, you've said that there's people coming at you and saying these kind of things that made you want to kind of tweet something like that.
Definitely. Just, you know, all this stuff was going on. We wasn't trained for it. I'm not trained to deal with like 1,000 tweets a day. My mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie, I smoke weed. I get paranoid sometimes. It's all too much. I'm not trained for this. But at the same time, I know what's happening. And I know I'm a very positive person. And my whole aim was to bridge the gap between London and Birmingham, because I remember going to a show one time and nobody knew each other and it was very tense.
Where was this? Do you remember?
It was one of the Eskimo dances that was done up north. I think the second or the third one.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
And I knew a few of the guys.
The Leicester one.
Yeah.
I was there, man. There was a very much of a division there.
Yeah.
I felt that.
So, you know, since that day, and you know, I know Skepta made the effort to go out and like shake everyone's hand on the other side of the stage, and you know, because we're trying to all fight for the same thing, and you know, even Skepta choosing to clash Devilman in the first place on Lord of the Mics was a choice to bring the light into Birmingham as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's always been a positive thing. So I wanted to touch base, like, mainly on the whole point of it was bridging the gap. Yeah, because through Twitter, you know, people didn't really know each other. Sometimes people was tweeting, people was getting into a lot of, you know, arguments and think, oh, well, when you come to there and all this type of thing. And it was like, look, if I can do these Lord of the Mics events and everybody comes down and gets a chance to have a good time and have a drink and start to know each other and mingle, and then other man gets a man's number and they start doing their own tunes and everybody starts knowing it. And by the time you know it, everybody knows each other, so it's blessed. You're not really going to get into no confrontation, because by the time Isis is like, nah, you know what, them man, they're family, baby. You man just go and talk over there and sort it out between you. Do you get what I'm saying? And we've got to that stage where that respect is there. The respect for London and the respect for Birmingham between each other is there, and it's a strong thing. So, you know, with that documentary and everything, it was all meant to be a positive thing. I just didn't want anything negative to come out of it, where, you know, a lot of people on the internet tweeting from Birmingham and a lot of people on the internet tweeting from London, then it becomes to build that, you know, that force field.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the Twitter thing. I read Twitter a lot, and there's a lot of things I don't comment on, as you don't either. And there was a big kind of debate between people about a feeling of London MCs or the scene or whatever tries to block out the Birmingham scene. Yeah. Now, you being one of the, you know, the figurehead people in the whole, you know, London grime industry, do you think that's the case in any kind of way? And can you see or feel why people might have that misconception?
I can see and feel because there are some idiots out there that want to hate on people from Birmingham.
Yeah.
That's clear to see, just like some people want to hate from people from London. Yeah. That's just general blank canvas. But you know, if you just look for yourself, you've known me a long time. Just off just looking, how much, you know, me personally, and you know my crew, and a few others around me have embraced the culture of grime from Birmingham. Let alone just, you know, traveling with Invasion, going all around to the islands, bringing them, putting them on the tour dates, you know, doing features with them, remixes, doing stuff with Stay Fresh, you know, tweeting, you know, being around, embracing it, bigging up the area, bigging up the culture, screaming 0121, bigging up that whole, you know what I mean? It's an embracement of it.
I see you wearing live t-shirts with your
yeah,
t-shirt. Yeah, I see that.
Like, it's all family, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've got different pockets in Birmingham which are families, you know what I'm saying? And you can't be, you know, you can't know everybody, right? But what I've tried to do is the people that are doing the music and pushing and representing from that area, support them, be a part of it, you know, help them out where I can, because it's not that hard for me to do. Why wouldn't I do it? That would make me a hater. That would make me not, you know, that would make me a bad person if I didn't want to give them the same platforms that I'm giving to the London MCs. So, you know, it's hard to make everyone happy, and sometimes, you know, you see people say things and I think, "Raw, why is he saying that? That's not me, and I'm not that guy." But you can't answer everybody. That's why I thought it's good. I'm just gonna come in and speak to you on a natural one and just let you know what that whole saga was about, because it's like, now I feel to like just be quiet, because I know that Twitter is a draw out in general. You know what I'm saying? Because it will just make you say something arrogant, because everybody's talking shit to you at once. And you'll be like, fuck everyone.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, I kind of fell for it as well. I mean, I saw that tweet. I took time, but I still replied to it, and it wasn't that you were trying to draw me or anybody else. It's just, you know, I took the time to reply to it.
I said that the day before. It wasn't even on that day I'd said it. It was like
the day before. I was cruising through the timeline, and I saw it. I was like, I don't agree with that.
And that was
so
because
I understand.
I saw the flood of those messages.
Yeah, okay.
And I felt to just say, you know, even at the time when I brought back Lord of the Match 3, Wiley gave me that call and he said, "Yo, Jam, man, you've done it, man. We need to bring back Eskimo dance now." That's when we brought back Eskimo dance, and we started having the flood of the raves. Then we went to the summer islands again, and then Skepta started doing. I think he done. He might have done That's Not Me straight after.
Okay.
Yeah, straight into that run, and then That's Not Me, Jam and Whip. Yeah, and then the whole kind of thing came together. Do you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of other people involved in the element. But I was saying, you know, the core base of when everybody wasn't doing grime and nobody gave a fuck. I was talking about from that stage when I decided to bring back Lord of the Mics, because the grime scene was getting complacent with the culture. So,
on a whole.
And MCs was getting enough money to say, "Oh, well, we don't need to clash. Man, are in the charts. Forget the chart. This is the culture. We're going to lose the culture. We're going to lose, you know, going to a set, spitting, feeling that vibe with your brethren, you know what I'm saying? Having a drink and busting joke and talking Islam and wearing new hoodies that look like how we dress. You know what I'm saying? Now, man, like, everybody's going over there, too many chains, bougie, Gucci, Louis, this. It's not our culture. It's not the vibe. Do you get what I'm saying? So, bringing back Lord of the Mics and doing these events and picking strategical events with like places with Ratty to go say, all right, we want to do it. Because at first we had enough money to go and put it in a plush place and to do a bigger launch with like where people carry champagne around. But that's not what we wanted to put across to the people.
And represent again, like you said, the culture of what's been built.
Exactly. So we picked these little, you know, little dingy like clubs which are kind of semi-trendy and nice in Shoreditch, but still a bit edgy, smell a bit basement-y-fied. Not, you know what I mean? The chairs are a little bit ripped up, but you come there, you do your class.
And that was a conscious decision to do that?
Yeah, that was a conscious decision. All these things to keep, you know, the vibe of our culture together. Because what happens is when you get into the industry and things start making money, it's easy to say, oh yeah, let's go to the next level, let's make it look glossy, and then you lose the essence of the thing. And that is where Birmingham definitely came into it and kept grime strong and going, right? And I'll never take that away from them, because they had the sheer essence and that going to radio with 10 of your brethren and spitting and sharing a drawer or buying a drawer together. You know what I'm saying? Man, they're still doing that, man. They're still spitting, man. They still got their hoodies. Man ain't watching nothing. Man is going there saying who's got the best bars and spitting on the set and being nang and doing freestyle, Jay-Z, media, P110, this, that, the other. Flush, doing in your community, having your thing. All I done in my own self, from somebody that's London that's got a big fan base, was say, look over there, look at what they're doing as well. I'm not trying to take credit for it. I'm just saying at least acknowledge what's happening, you know, and don't, you know, just jump down my throat on Twitter or on social networks, because, you know, I might feel a way about it, but it's not that deep. But I just, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's, come on, man, like, you got to look up the works that man are doing down to the last time.
I said to you, bro, nobody can take away anything that you've done for grime and the stuff that you do and you will continue to do.
Continue, like, come on, man, like, not only that, this stuff, that's just one pocket, but look, you can look at Red Bull culture, like, look at everything that's going around, look at the shows that man are doing now, look at where man are taking the level of the music to. Like, next year we're going to take, and us getting bigger only helps everybody else that's doing the music get bigger. Do you know what I'm saying? So instead of fighting each other, let's keep it, you know, unity between everybody, everyone stay fresh, invasion, you know, everybody doing music up there. Let's just keep it under one umbrella. Everybody, you know, just push for the same reasons, push for the music. You know, we shouldn't have this London, Birmingham thing going on. That's just a, you know, I don't think that's a real barrier, because my whole aim in the first place was to bridge the gap, and it worked. You know, we have good relationship.
Still, I see it a lot, and sometimes it's easy to play into it because you don't see each other, and it's just online and stuff like that. But I do see it a lot, the whole kind of, you know, London, Birmingham, and it really shouldn't be a thing that's...
No, because look how much love the London and Birmingham lot have got for each other when they've linked up, if you look at all the footage. So I just think it's sometimes... The Birmingham lot are in a stage where we was when we was a bit angry that we wasn't getting the recognition that we should be getting, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to definitely say right now, yes, Birmingham have definitely been going hard, doing grime. There's a lot of MCs out there that have been doing this music, going hard to represent the music, and they definitely played a part in making grime as strong as it is right now in the UK, because the more they do it, the more fans that we have up there that, you know, combine to both of our music and make it gel. So like you're selling music, Birmingham people are selling units in London, and, you know, the London boys are selling more units in Birmingham, and vice versa, and gel it as one thing. So yeah, man, it's always meant to come back round to be a positive thing. Sometimes even if you have an argument and it's negative, you can speak and make something.
We sat here today from, you know, a thing that happened a couple of days ago, so that's definitely a true fact. That's good, man. I mean, collaboration is something that does grow and help everybody. And then talking about like collaborations, and you mentioned Court Clash earlier on, is kind of like a, you know, a brand collaboration between all these big brands, etc. I was at Culture Clash, and I was there with 20,000 other people in the crowd.
25.
Whoa, I didn't even know it was that many. So it was 25,000 people in the crowd, going crazy to grime music, and, you know, you guys, Boy Better Know, were on the stage tearing it down. How does that feel for somebody like you that's been here since the beginning to see where it is now? You know, what kind of feeling, how did you feel about that? Do you feel like it's something that can continue to grow?
The thing is, I know, like, you know, in a weird way, I don't like, it's hyped up, because in this country, when you speak as if, you know too much, or you're too broke, it comes across as wrong, and like people want you to downplay yourself and kind of
it's a British thing, man,
and shit like that. But I knew I know, like, that's why I brought my mum and dad there.
I saw them, man. I saw them on stage
because I wanted them to witness that, because they've seen the journey from the beginning. They've seen me born to now. So I brought them there because they might not come to another show again, but I've showed them this is the pinnacle, because this is going to be a landmark, historical moment where everything changes around. And it was.
Yeah, I feel that way.
We represented and we showed how powerful our scene is and our culture is and our music is in that capacity of people. Every stage manager, every tour manager, every booking agent, every festival agent, everyone that looked into that, those guys have got pulling power, and they make the crowd rock. People love them. People are trying BBK, even when we're stopping. It wasn't doing that for no one else. This is patriotic shit. Like, these people have grown up on us.
It's true, bro.
You get what I'm saying? It was a time for me that shows 2015 has got a lot to offer. You know, I'm trying to take it to the next level personally. Like, always trying to do my extra bit for whoever it is and whoever it might be. And I'm going to keep pursuing that and dream and pushing forward. And, you know, the next move is to break Europe and America without being, you know, trying to be them or copy, just being ourselves, taking our music there. Yeah, just pushing forward.
You know, it's funny you mentioned America. Obviously, it's one of the biggest music markets, and if grime is able to break America, it's going to be greatly beneficial for everybody. And it's something that feels like people have been trying to do for, you know, year after year, and it's been, you know, it's been a while coming.
Yeah.
But nobody seems to have been able to do it. Do you think the time is now that's possible?
It's happening now. Happening, bro. Man, when I walk down, when I go to New York now, it's mad. Like,
Well, do people recognize you out there?
Yeah, bro.
That's cool.
Like, man, are hollering me out, bro. I'm coming out, like, I come out on girls' yard in the morning, like, just on some ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to get back to my place, like,
Yeah.
come out there, jump in taxi. Man's like, yo, German. You know what I'm saying? So, and everything that's happening, like, everything that's happened since we've gone back there twice, it's got bigger. Things, you know, things are happening. So, yeah, like we just like are being ourselves, and people are accepting it and understanding because they get the vibe. If you're just yourself and people know, like, right, this is something that feels good, feels natural, feels real, feels authentic. Everybody around these guys that are introducing us or we're meeting through, they're cool. They do this cool shit as well, and it's new and it's exciting. But to them, it's new. You know, some of them have been researching it for a long time. Some people it's new to, but for the people that are educated, they understand what it is, and they understand that every other subculture that's come out of the UK and been successful has been a reformed version of grime.
Yeah.
Because
it's
we
true.
have the Queen here and how it is. You know, they have to polish everything down, you conform it for radio, then they ship it outwards to the American and everything else in Europe. And you know, because of the way we conform ourselves as, you know, young black men, we normally tend to miss the boat on that. But now the head's educated and everybody's, you know, got the right vision and knows what they're doing. You know, we can get ourselves into the right meetings, the right predicaments, the right things to make sure people don't manipulate us and, you know, take stuff and sign us for no stupid bullshit. And, you know, we can control it ourselves and make the destiny what it's meant to be.
We said something off camera earlier on, and I want to bring it to the interview. You mentioned the other subcultures like, you know, like dubstep maybe and all that kind of stuff that kind of, it had its a couple year run. Corporations came in, you know, they pumped it all up and all that kind of stuff, and then people just kind of ducked out, and now, you know, dubstep's really not anymore. Is there a danger of that happening to grime as things expand? And are you aware of that? And is this something that you know you're going to try and stand against going forward?
The reason why I don't think that will happen to grime is because the guys that really spearhead it and the guys that spearhead it look out for the guys that are really true to the music. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have the guys that you know are the guys, and then you're gonna have the guys that are the guys bringing in the guys. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just like the hip hop scenario, you know, guys are signing guys that are good because they feel their way, and that way it goes over to the world. That's what's gonna happen. Just like with Socks and, you know, JK's vibe that we felt, you know, in Skepta Nights, we felt the vibes of, you know, we started fucking with them doing music with them. You know, and it just made their vibe bigger.
Yeah.
Everybody got onto their vibe, you know what I'm saying? Because they understood them. Like when somebody that you understands somebody else, you kind of have to kind of see the angle.
Yeah, it's a cosign thing. You know,
yeah.
the hip hop people do it really well, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that is just what it's based on. So yeah, man, I just want to do more work. More work with more people, more producers, you know, more producers from Birmingham, and Mysteries. Someone I'm looking to.
Mysteries big move.
Yeah, he's who I'm looking at signing next. Someone on the label, talking to him, back and forth. So I know, you know, where the people are that are doing music. You know, not only in Birmingham, up and down the country, in all pockets. You know, local. All these people that I've been trying to, you know, push to the forefront. You know, Socks was nominated for a MOBO. That's not, you know, beat around the bush. Right?
It's a big thing, man.
Put him on the plane. You know, the thing is, at that time, we didn't spend no money on jewelry or make it look like we're flossing out like that. We might have had a nice apartment because it was my birthday anyway, and I wanted to have a good time. But I spent like $4,000 on that video to just, you know, let him be himself. Just get a cameraman, just pay for everything, and let's just go and fucking have a sick time and film the video. Because that's what this song's about. It's about living. And it translated, and like the views and everybody was saying, so that's the best video. Even though Skepta won best video in the nation.
That's not me. Yeah.
Because of the principle of not spending money on the video and all the younger generation coming up being able to do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Me as like somebody, you know, that signed an artist, I like to give people, you know, the experience of, you know, knowing that it's possible to change your life and your views. So taking them to places and doing things like that, and letting them broaden their horizon, for me is part of the self-training and cleansing to build you into the world of this artist that I see you being.
Yeah.
You know, even with Socks, like that happened with Bizzle the other day. And me and Socks are very close. I haven't spoken to Socks since.
Oh, what? They had a thing?
Yeah, because Bizzle came to Birmingham and Socks said on his Twitter, you would have sold out your event if you had put me on the lineup or shit like that. Now my thing is, he knows that I fucks with Bizzle, and as me being someone that, you know, puts a lot of effort into you and your music, you shouldn't say that to him because you know that it's going to affect my relationship with my colleague. So yeah, I haven't spoken to Socks, but Socks is my brother, so you know, I'm going to speak to him and we're gonna look about next year and see what moves we're going to make and stuff like that. But my whole thing, man, is just about respect. You know, I come to the area of the Birmingham where I am. I respect the people there that are from there. If they come to London, they respect the people that are from here. And I think that with respect, everything will go further. I think like for us in general, like we just need to drop the bad man attitude out, that whole me this, me that attitude, because it's hard to get consumed in that. You know, because I can make that mistake. I think we just need to really concentrate on this togetherness thing, because the more of us that work together, the more powerful the whole thing becomes. And we're at the stage where we can take it to the next level now.
Yeah.
So we're bickering now and arguing about little small things like one documentary, I don't think it's beneficial to us.
You've mentioned the whole Birmingham London thing. Like it's something that it's a thing, and we've spoken about it, and like hopefully people can take away from our conversation positives and think, you know what, it doesn't need to be, stuff like that going forward. You spoke about kind of, spending $4,000 on Sox's video, talking about, having enough money to put on a plush event, doing Lord of the Mics 3 and 4 and 5 and all that kind of stuff.
And not only that, to cut you, I was the only man taking out proper racks to pay the artists to do events and battles and stuff like that, and putting money back into the music and then giving people hope that they can earn money from the music.
Well, this is the thing, because this is what I'm trying to get to. You mentioned about kind of giving people the ability to kind of see outside of the scope of what they're already used to. Now, as a businessman and somebody that I know has been a businessman since I can remember in grime music, is that something that you're conscious of people wanting to kind of be more independent and be more in control of their businesses? And is it something that you feel the grime industry needs for it to grow? Independent people coming in and kind of like,
definitely.
being entrepreneurial and doing
100%. Without that, it fails, because what you don't have is no infrastructure. If everybody just flocking to somebody to sign them,
And that's the thing. I mean, that's why I'm asking you, because labels have come in over the years and given people money.
What is happening now is getting to the stage where we are the Diddies and the Dre's and stuff like that, and everybody's going to come through, my label or a subsidiary label or somebody I introduced them to, because you're not going to get ripped off, you're not going to get mugged off, you're not going to get to make shit music, you're going to get to be yourself, you're going to get money, and you're going to go around and do your music the way it should be done. And I think those were the failures before in the music, when they was taking on artists, signing them, and then changing the whole spectrum of it, and it was going downhill like a Stormzy now. If they signed him and they made them try to do all this other stuff and polish them up, I don't think it would work. If he just keeps on going on Aggie for
definitely
coming on stages with us, barring, doing these sets, he's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Next thing, he's going to make a tune and it's mad. And it's going to be exactly what he wanted to make. So I think that's the way that we need to go now, having our own shit. It's hard, it takes a long time to do it, but you can join up, you can team up with people, you can do co-branding, partnerships, you know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want, man, but don't be that guy that doesn't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trust me, man.
Nah, it's important, man. Like I see a lot of young people coming up, and I had someone in my Twitter the other day talking about, you know, it's hard for them to get heard and that kind of thing. And I just said to them, like, you know, make sure that you're connecting with your fan base and just growing your audience and making sure you do that rather than looking at everybody else in the scene to look at you. Yeah. Make sure you connect and grow what you're doing and kind of be.
Definitely, even things like Big Mike Man that I'm doing, that's ready to go up and down the country.
What's this?
This is a league that I'm doing.
Okay.
It's going to be travelling all up and down the country.
Yeah.
To go to everybody's spot to find the best MCs and let them battle. We're going to televise it at the end.
See.
Like these are just all things to include everybody. This is like, you know, this is why sometimes, like I said, I get frustrated when, you know, man are saying to me that I'm trying to not bring through the thing, but I'm one of the fighters of pushing through up north and down south. Everywhere other than London, I'm on, because it makes me happy that when I go to places and I see these people all, you know, doing the culture and being a part of it and playing their role. When I go to Sweden, Germany, I find all these people, it's the same as, you know, everybody's the same. If you're doing the music, you're a part of this movement, and you're a part of why it's going to be big, because you know, you're spreading the powers, you know what I'm saying? So you got to respect everyone. I just want to clear that up, and I just wanted to clear up, you know, the fact that I said it was me on my own. The fact is, if I had an idea and I wanted to do something, that an idea sparked in my head on my own in my room, it still wouldn't have been able to come to life without me hitting up the artists, hitting up the people, the cameramen, the lighting, the people that were doing the websites, promoting, people that done the venues. All these people was a part of it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not arrogant and I'm not thin, because I do know the bigger picture. But like for me, I am the visionist. I envisioned all of this stuff before it happened. You know, if you listen to some of my lyrics, you'll see what I'm saying in them.
Wiley's similar to that as well. I've listened to a lot of Wiley lyrics from back in the day, and the things that are said, you know, are things that come to light. And it's you know, it's subconscious, it's conscious about planning stuff and kind of seeing the vision
100%.
and having a vision.
Believing in the vision.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what it is. You got to believe in your vision, because you don't believe in it, how other people got to believe in it. So everything that's happening, man, I visualized it. And I feel like there's much more to come. I think 2015's got so much to offer for grime, not only London, grime, Birmingham, up north. Everybody keep doing their thing and just keep pushing forward and being positive and supporting each other and just bridge that gap and just try and leave the arrogance behind and be positive, man.
Talk about 2015. Before we finish the interview, are we going to see you on the Mobos for 2015? I know there's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of talk going on. They want me to host the Mobos 2015.
So do they actually want you to do it?
Yeah, they tried to announce it as well without me confirming anything as well. But obviously, sometimes people want to run with the hype as well. I went on the stage, I wasn't nominated, nothing, and I done a skank and I got more hits and tweets and things and it, like guys that was winning awards. So for me, that just shows the power in my body and my energies and that people, you know, they gel towards me, warm towards me, because they know it's a genuine spirit for the music, it's a genuine love for this thing. They can tell what, you know, my vibe is. You know, sometimes I got a mad face, I'm short-sighted, some people think I'm screwing them, sometimes this is things that I go through in life. People get me twisted wrong time, sometimes I talk a bit different, people think I'm trying it, but on the initial like base of this thing, I'm out here for this music thing. I put my life, everything, like broke up with girlfriends, things, single, mad thing, beef, man money down, everything just for music, bro. Like just to make people know that we're nang, and this music's nang. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I wanted to put out there. So, you know, and it's not like unless you're doing this or unless you're doing that, I just want everybody, I live, breathe, blood, live this thing. You get what I'm saying? So when I'm very passionate about some things, that's why for people like me, sometimes Twitter and all these places are a good place. Sometimes I just be quiet, you know what I'm saying, and delete the app off my phone, get me and keep it moving.
Bro, you got to see it today. So I respect that anyway. Respect a lot of things you said, man. So appreciate the interview, right?
Respect, man.
So you've been watching B83. Again, I'm Despa. This is Meet the Artist. Had Jammer on today. We'll catch you soon.
Big up.
Right, respect, bro.